Hey guys, it's Andy here. What's going on? I'm doing a faith, family, focus update. It's kind of my three-pronged approach to life. I like to always put God first in my life. Sometimes I have trouble surrendering completely to that, but one day at a time. I just kind of keep resetting, and if I slip or fall, I kind of get back in the fight and just try to get in alignment through prayer, meditation, confession, meeting, all those kinds of things. And then, of course, my wonderful family, my kids, siblings, parent, all that comes with cousins, people that show up in my life that are like family. And then focus, or mission, the thing that makes me jump out of bed to want to attack and conquer and share and connect and all that stuff. And that mission for me has always been storytelling, acting, and the last decade or so, writing and script writing, and trying to figure out how to tell a story about some of the more personal details of my life through a script format that's meant to be shot into a film and all that I've been working on. So what is it for you guys out there? What are the three main things that you like to focus on? I'm sitting here in my car and using YouTube format to kind of like broadcast out to whoever sees this, a little bit like The Running Man, the original, from the place of wherever I'm at. I use my car a lot as an office because I'm driving around a lot in LA. And what's going on? It's December 10th, and things are wild in the world, in Hollywood, in my life. But those three things are what really keep me getting back on track. It's like just the compass, the North Star. We're approaching Christmas, and it's pretty incredible that, again, the creator wrote himself into our story, and that's the celebration of that. And do this St. Andrew novena, which is like, I guess he was the first apostle called, but then he went and got Peter, and they were fishermen and stuff like that. And it's something just about remembering how humble the entrance was for our Lord. It's pretty amazing. So what else? I got my cappuccino, got my son to school on time today, feeling like as we're approaching 2026, trying to think about like how to make strides and make things happen and bring to fruition this film project. Well, being a hired gun as an actor, I do have a movie coming out. For anybody that doesn't know me, I've been in a bunch of stuff. I was in Sopranos, I was in Knockaround Guys, Welcome to Collinwood, The Yards. I've been on Lucifer, 24, CSI New York, CSI Miami. I've been in a bunch of plays, video games, Mafia 3, the DLC. I played Connor Aldridge. What was the other one I did? Oh, LA Noire. Played Johnny Stompanato, who apparently was a real gangster. He was like the bodyguard or right-hand man for Mickey Cohen. And I think he used to date Lana Turner, which is a wild story, where like mafia and Hollywood mix, Yeah, so it's like, and then I've written this film called Laz, currently titled Laz, and it's a bit of a comeback on the waterfront meets Rocky, the little Godfather twist in the sense of like it's an Italian background, and a little bit of how I grew up. One side had a lot of money, not billionaire money, but my grandfather created the first jarred sauce in America. And So he's like this wealthy Italian patriarch, and you know, he was definitely interesting, but he was kind of like cold and wasn't the friendliest. But it was fascinating also to have this, like, I'd go to this sauce factory all the time, like not Willy Wonka, but the spaghetti sauce factory. And then on my dad's side of the family, it was more blue collar, and you know, my dad ended up becoming an attorney before I was born, of course, but he was the first one in his family to like finish college, and it was only because he went to Syracuse, and it was only because his mother like cleaned the toilets up at SU. That's how he got in. And then he had a dream to become an attorney. But on that side of the family, was more warmth, and there was always kids running around, and a lot of chaos and stuff. So I thought, what an interesting kind of duality to explore and tell a story with. And I named the character, my character, because I wrote it as a vehicle. I remember being on set with Vin Diesel and on Knockaround Guys, and he told me he had written this short film called Faces. No, yeah, is that what it was called? I think that's what it was called. Maybe that's the... Anyways, Multifacial. I'm sorry. Faces is a John Cassavetes film. Funny enough, that's... it was his heavenly birthday yesterday, and that's my younger son's great-grandfather. And so, happy heavenly birthday to him. Pray for him today, too. You know, obviously one of the great independent filmmakers, the great American independent filmmaker that was really the first one in this country to make stuff happen on his own and tell stories really from his own perspective. And so then I named the character Lazarus because there was a dope basketball player in Syracuse that named Lazarus Sims, and I just thought, like, I didn't really want to make the character an actor, so I was like, I always loved basketball and use that kind of as the metaphor for my career as an actor and stuff like that. And so, and it had, you know, it's got the great, you know, biblical reference, so I know the story of Lazarus rising and all that. And then at that time, when I started writing this, I actually started writing it in 2004. It took my time with it because I'm an actor first, but I looked up the parable. I found the parable of the rich man and Lazarus. And then I got the goosebumps because I was like, here's this story, this parable about the rich and the poor and the chasm between the two. And you know, it just made me think about my family and having one foot on each side and seeing like how much is too much and how much is too little. And then, of course, I learned so much about the saint. And I just explored that parable and kind of have written an allegory with those elements, you know, and script's in an incredible place. The story's an incredible place. I went through a lot of labs and did a lab with Bobby Moresco, who co-wrote and won the Academy Award for Crash and $1 Million Baby, and worked with Nick Cassavetes on it. Barry Navidi, of course, who's one of the, you know, producing partners of the great Al Pacino, and he's mentored me for years, and he's done a bunch of films with Al. He did Merchant of Venice, and they just did Modi with that Johnny Depp directed, and I got Lear Rex coming out with Al. And you know, he's an independent filmmaker essentially, and just he's like story. The script is the star, and of course you need the money to make it too, which is a whole nother, you know, ball of wax in a sense. And but just kept working on it, and then recently worked with Ditto Montiel on a polish, and just getting these great writers and you know, people with experience to really help me hone what it's about and how to say it in a clean kind of, like, not necessarily simpler way, but distill it down to its true essence. So that's coming along nicely. I've done some I got some storyboards done on it, and what else? I got a schedule done, day out of days, which is like how many days you want to shoot. And right now it's at 40 days. I want to bring it down to like 29, so it's just lean and ready to go. And I did a sizzle reel with some of the AI Sora stuff just to kind of like help visualize. I've done different sizzles for it, and so that's the mission, you know what I mean? And it's so in a sense it's got all of it in it because it's a parable from the Bible. It's about family, and then, you know, the character Laz has this mission, and he always wanted to be a ball player, and he kind of had a fall. The original inspiration was a motorcycle accident that happened to my cousin where she had passed, and and her boyfriend was driving, and he had lived, and that was the initial catalyst for the whole kind of like plot, and that's still in there. So fall, rise, and then a comeback. And so, you know, he's a down and outer. He's past his prime in the sense of, you know, athletics, because it's a shorter shelf life, and he finally returns home and faces, you know, kind of like all his demons, and out of that comes the kind of like conflict, drama, and then of course resolution. So that's my rant for today. No idea how this came out, but I'm here, I'm showing up, I'm being visible, and connecting and just speaking authentically about who I am, what I'm doing, and what I got going on. So that's it. Believe again, keep going for it, and one day at a time. And let me know what are your top 3.